Hey, I hope you guys are doing well, and if you can't tell by the title of this video, today we are going to be talking about my Ferrari. Yeah, so here it is. It is a 550 Maranello, and well, it is a bit of a tight squeeze. Just kidding, we are going to be talking about my 99 4Runner, which is behind me. I want to talk about some of the things that I really enjoy about it and how it has been such a great car for me. I made one video about the problems that I had with the 4Runner, so I think it is only fair to make a video on all of the great things that I love about this 4Runner. I know at least my buddy Garrett wants to see it, and hopefully there's a few more of you guys that enjoy this video. Alright, now before we get into this third generation 4Runner, I want to give a little bit of history on Toyota 4Runners and where they came from. So, in the early 1980s, Winnebago and Toyota teamed up and made the Toyota Trekker. There's about 1,500 units that were produced, and it came off of Toyota's pickup chassis, and from there they started to see the popularity of the vehicle and discontinued it in 1983. In 1984, the first generation Toyota 4Runner came out, and that ran all the way through 1989, had that classic detachable fiberglass rear half, allowing it to be a bit of a Bronco or a Blazer of the time. Then they moved into the second generation Toyota 4Runner, moving more towards the SUV style. They had a 2-door and then had a 4-door, and that ran from August of '89 through 1995. And then that leads us to the third generation 4Runner, my particular favorite, and that ran from 1996 to 2002, and to date, I believe this is the most sold 4Runner, or the body style is at least the most sold and the most popular. So now let's dive into this particular 1999 Toyota 4Runner, and I'll go through every little detail that I really like about it. Starting on the exterior, I gotta say I have really grown fond of this body style. This is the first year where the bumper actually kind of juts out a little bit. You can kind of see that. But with this trim, which is the limited trim, it also comes with fender flares, color matched front bumpers. I also have a roof rack, which was an option on the other variations of this vehicle. But overall, the exterior of this vehicle is just amazing. I really love the body style and the lines of it. It's kind of similar to the Jeep Grand Cherokee of the time, that very nice boxy styling. It's just something that I absolutely love. Now we're going to talk about the heart of this bad boy. Now, as you can see, this engine has 207,000 miles, and while I had given this engine a bit of grief in my last video for its lacking power numbers and pretty abysmal fuel economy, it is still a fantastic engine. The reliability of these 3.4 liters is what people are after, and that is why it is such a fantastic vehicle. The engine just keeps on going as long as you do that routine maintenance. You'll see many of these third generation 4Runners with this engine, or even perhaps the 2.7, that have well over 250,000 miles, and a few I've seen over 500,000 miles. So now let's go ahead and start this one up and see how she sounds. Now, I know it is no Ferrari when it comes to the sound, but nonetheless, you just turn the key and this car fires right up and will get you from point A to point B, no problems asked. I would have no worry whatsoever getting in this car and driving it halfway across the country. Now on to the next thing, and let's say you were to drive this thing across the country, you would need some space for all your stuff, right? Well, the 4Runner has got you covered. Not only does this 4Runner have a roof rack where you can put other suitcases or a nice little shell up on top, or even a tent if you wanted to, you can fold down the rear seating. Now, this is how I have my 4Runner most of the time, as I am a college student, so it makes it easy to load all of my stuff in and out of the vehicle. And now putting the seats back up is as simple as taking the headrest out of the holder, pulling this seat, flipping it up. Once you flip it up, you just drop the seat back down, like so, pull the buckles out, and there you go. This makes it much better than a pickup for me, allowing for there to be 5 seats rather than just 2 in the front, and then maybe just some small seats here in the back. This makes it a lot more versatile for me, and not to mention I also can cover up all the stuff that is in here when I'm driving. Now, you may have noticed earlier that I was sticking my hand straight through the back of the car, and no, the glass is not broken out. Another great feature about this vehicle is the fact that you can just use the key or the switch in the inside of the vehicle and roll that back glass right on down. Now, next up for me has got to be the sunroof. Now, almost every car that I have owned has had a sunroof, and this one is no different, and I absolutely love it. On a nice spring, summer, or even a fall day, I like to drop down the sunroof and just cruise along and have that air flowing straight through right out the back glass. Alright, so just a few more things to note about my 4Runner here. Boom, is the fact that it has a solid chassis, making it pretty resilient to rust. You can get a towing package on it, and you can tow up to about 5,000 pounds, so a few toys or maybe a very small car. It does have glass headlights, which makes it resilient to the fading that a lot of plastic headlights have. And then a couple things that you can't really see is the fact that insurance on these bad boys is very cheap. I just have the minimum coverage on mine, which makes it fairly cheap. And then also the fact that the resale value on these 4Runners is really just going up as time goes on. I could sell this 4Runner for much more than what I paid for it just 4 years ago, so that makes me happy. And then there's also a huge range of aftermarket components that you can put on these 4Runners, especially if they're 4-wheel drive. There's a lot of off-roading parts that you are able to put on these. So overall, just absolutely love my 4Runner, and when it comes down to it, why fly? Just drive the 4Runner, man. It's awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you've got a 4Runner, all the things that you guys love about yours, or maybe the ones that you really don't like, or the little things that you don't like about yours. Either way, I will catch you guys in the next one. Pulling this seat, flipping it up, and then set, well, you guys can't see that,